Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is August the 31st. 2020. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Unconfiscatable. Be a unique beast. This is your home for Bitcoin insider information. Personal responsibility is new counterculture. We're going to talk about that because you can get your Bitcoin stolen if you don't have personal responsibility. One day closer to an all-time high. I am still offended by selling, but we're going to talk about some crypto gamblers today. If you have questions, I have answers. Type in BitcoinMeister, or you can do a super chat to get my attention. Hello, my elite friends. This is my second show of the day. Check out the backup channel. I did a Beyond Bitcoin show over there earlier. And because on Saturday night, I had Gabriel Divine on this channel for a Beyond Bitcoin bonus show. So watch that. Both shows are linked to below. And you can watch them at disruptmeister.com. Over 1,800 of my shows are there now. Wow. I've been doing this for some time. It's conviction. And let's jump into this. I want to thank some people have sent me Bitcoin recently. You can contribute to the show in many ways. You can retweet the show, and I'm going to actually put that in the chat right now. You can retweet it right there. You can send me cryptocurrency. Bitcoin. I value my wealth in Bitcoin, so I really enjoy when I get Bitcoin. But I mean, I don't want you giving up your precious Bitcoin. So I really appreciate the guys who sent the Bitcoin. You can do the super chat, which Tabal Dachrez just did. He sent $5 in Canadian dollars. I see people on Twitter saying Yearn Finance will flip BTC because it's more scarce. Dude, that's the one that's worth $20,000 or something like that? They're a little confused right there. Flip. There's hardly it's quite scarce. That's great. So someone's going to pay millions of dollars for them, or okay, it's silly that people are excited. And we're going to talk about unit bias in a second. This is more so unit confusion. I think this is the one that's one of these Yearn thingamajiggies is worth more than one Bitcoin. Okay, yes. What's that map? So people think that's a big deal. I mean, there have been coins in the past. There's only been like 32 of them. There was a 32 coin before? Those ones could have been worth more than a one Bitcoin also. It's this little niche little thing that they're playing around with in DeFi. It takes advantage. You got to give them credit. If they pump the price up that high, it really gets people excited to compare it to Bitcoin. But that's unit confusion there, unit measurement confusion. We're going to talk about unit bias in a second. So you can play a lot of mind games with people with the price and with how many there are and how cheap it is or how expensive it is. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin is the thing you've got to keep in your mind, okay? All right, so pound that like button. I thank you very much, Taval, for that and that topic. Now, and thank you for the people who've sent me Bitcoin in every way people contribute to the show. I really appreciate it. It's free though. It is free. You can just post it on social media. That's really, I appreciate that too. So this happened yesterday and I wasn't aware of it until today. 1,400 Bitcoin stolen. So this guy, it shows you that you could have a lot of Bitcoin and you can make a very big mistake. So if you've been in this, and this guy's been in this space for a while. So all you veterans, always good to go back on best practices, okay? Review your best practices. Try to keep things as simple as possible. We're going to get into at the end of the show, I'm going to talk about a best practice mistake that someone encountered recently. But this is a really big one. The guy says, I had 1,400 Bitcoin in a wallet that I had not accessed since 2017. So, okay, he's been around longer than most of you here. I foolishly installed the old version of the Electrum wallet. My coins propagated. I attempted to transfer about one Bitcoin, however, was unable to proceed. A pop-up displayed stating I was required to update my security prior to being able to transfer funds. I installed the update, quote unquote update, which immediately triggered the transfer of my entire balance to a scammer's address. Oh, so you can read the GitHub about it. You can read the tweet about it. This issue has been around for a while. If users download a version of the Electrum from a different source other than electrum.org and don't check signatures, they may install a backdoored Electrum. So that's what this guy apparently did. Be very careful what you download. All right? Be sure you're at the real site of something. Because once you've got something that's fake or sort of fake or can put you in touch with a fake server, you're in deep you-know-what. And that is unfortunately what happened to this guy. I don't use the Electrum wallet. I don't play those games. I'm the hardware wallet, dudes. I just have it, my Bitcoin on a few different hardware wallets. He obviously, I mean, maybe he owns more than that amount of Bitcoin, but it appears to me he had all his Bitcoin in one source, and he decided, well, he actually, that he decided to use Electrum, and where he got it from, where he got his Electrum wallet from is quite questionable. Be very questionable. And then whenever a pop-up appears, make sure it's a real pop-up, okay? Never, you can get pop-ups you get the phishing attack pop-ups. Be very careful. Be very careful with emails you receive. Maybe it's a little bit more complicated. Maybe he got an email that installed something on his computer. I'm not a fan of the Electrum wallet. All right. This is something I don't like this. For me, the Trezor and it's simpler. The hardware wallets is a simpler operation, and I hesitate. We're talking about updates here. Everyone always wants to do the latest update. Sometimes you got to be careful. Don't get too eager when you see a new update. It might be something from a fake source. So be vigilant, people. Let me see. Someone said, what happened to BTCP? What happened to be private? Oh, dude, I think that's old news. I mean, what happens to all the crypto dividends eventually? They had a lot of drama because of there were some personalities. They hyped it up, and they weren't able to come through with what they said they were going to be able to do. It's basically been almost totally abandoned. There are a few, and it's been there've been reorgs, there've been all sorts of issues over there. I mean, what happened to Ethereum Classic? It gets attacked now. This is the third week. Their third time this year or fourth time this year they just had an attack. These altcoins are not very secure. These altcoins don't have as big of a community that you may think they have. These altcoins revolve around egos, around specific people. And the Be Private one at a time, my lord, that was crypto dividend insanity then. And then whoop, they were out of luck because they were there at the top of it, and they were there right when it crashed to all those crypto dividends. Make crypto dividends. Hey, I wouldn't mind if they figure out a way to issue us Be Private again and they pump it up. Who was it? Free is free, dude. Free is free. And what's the guy's name in Puerto Rico who was the big personality behind it that everybody likes to blame and scapegoat? What's his darn name? I forgot. He went to Yale. I don't even remember. I'm just drawing a blank on his name, but that was that was an issue. People really attacked that crypto dividend because of him, and he could have been a bit more responsible himself. What's his darn name, buddy? All right, but enough. You just. Next, there's going to be more crypto dividends. That was a very interesting, and that brings back memories to early 2008 there. So thank you for that question. And BTC Blast and UK BitcoinMeister said he just tweeted out the show. Someone, Kayvon says, is Ledger Nano S still safe? Way to hold. Yeah, it's still safe. No, I do not prefer Electrum. I prefer the hardware wallets over Electrum any day of the week. Um, all right. Now let's move on. But Trezor is better than all the whatchamacallits, the ledgers. And you speaking about ledgers, that one that looks like a little computer chip, the H1W, that one even still works. It doesn't even look, no one will even know what that is anymore. If you to most Bitcoiners, if you show them that ledger H1W, they probably be like, well, what is that thing? What is it? It doesn't look like a hardware wallet. I mean, it's a teeny little chip. Okay, but it does work. They do. And if you know what you're doing, sometimes even something like that can have an advantage, because nobody knows what it is when you're carrying it around. The H1W, and it's really cheap to get. It doesn't do all the things the other ones do, what the other hardware wallets do now. So Eric Voorhees retweeted this. He likes this term. It's called Bitcoin Centrist. Everyone needs a label, apparently. I don't like any of the labels. I'm just a unique beast. You can call me what you want to call me. And Tai Zeng calls me a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm no bad. I'm a freaking unique beast here. But Eric Voorhees likes the term Bitcoin centrist, and apparently Vinny Lingham likes it too. The centrist is neither in the anything goes camp or the maximalist one. Bitcoin just remains at the center, while the periphery is allowed its place. Okay. And Vinny says, a maximalist believes that all other coins will fail. A minimalist believes that Bitcoin will fail. A centrist believes that Bitcoin will play an important part of a healthy and diverse crypto ecosystem, but it is neither destined for failure nor singularity. Now, those are actually two different definitions there. Vinny's definition is very, very, very wishy-washy. That's like a political centrist. But hey, you could be a political centrist. You could be a Bitcoin centrist. Definitely anything goes. I'll say this. And this guy here says, I propose not to declare. Why label yourself and then have people skewed perception of what the label is to them be what you are? And yeah, Bitcoin centrists can have a lot of different interpretations there. There's a lot of leeway there. There's a lot of different ways of looking at it. I get it. I get why people want to be they want out of the fray. They're like, okay, dudes, I Bitcoin is great, but there's going to be altcoins out there. Well, did you just say that? You don't need a label. For me, it is, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. It is definitely the center of the crypto ecosystem. So there's a Bitcoin centrist type of comment right there. Pound that like button. And I'm just reading it over again. Bitcoin just remains the center while the periphery is allowed in its place. Okay, that's definitely different than Vinny's interpretation of Bitcoin centrist. But who knows if it's gonna? I'm putting it out there. It might catch on that term. And it's also important to remember that outside of our social media Bitcoin bubble here, that hardly anyone's heard of these terms anyway. Bitcoin maximalist, Bitcoin minimalist, Bitcoin centrist, and they don't care. I mean, does it care? Do banks care that are buying it? Do institutions care? What you call it? Do Venezuelans care that are trying to preserve their wealth? What a Bitcoin maximalist is? What a Bitcoin centrist is? But we come up it's a diverse space where people come up with all sorts of ideas, and sometimes they get bored and want something to argue about on social media. What's my label? Have no label. Just be a unique beast. Don't accept anyone's label. Be that lone wolf out there doing your own thing. You don't need to be fitting in is overrated. You don't need to be defined, and because if you do try to fit into a certain category, they might have an inquisition that comes out for you and say you're not pure enough, dude. You're not pure enough. Bitcoin Inquisition. Remember, watch a Thursday show. It was speaking about Venezuela, and it was Gabriel was on. And Friday's show, This Week in Bitcoin, was very good. And of course, Saturday's show with Gabriel Divine was whoa. People really love that stuff that he talks about. And I got to tell you, some of the stuff he talks about, I let him talk about it, but you can have a conversation with someone. It's still possible in this world that we live in today. Now, speaking about this world that we live in today, we live in a world where sports has gotten so incredibly political. And I just heard the Orioles beat the Blue Jays there, Taval, if you're interested in that. But the Orioles took a day off because of political stuff, and it sickened me. It's like, this is supposed to be our pastime, a national pastime. And a lot of people are frustrated during this era of panic and disturbances and unrest that have been manufactured and definitely spurred on and blown out of proportion and by all sorts of megaphoning entities out there. People are looking for new pastimes. And so I wonder, I pose this question to the audience out there. Is it better to become a trader of cryptocurrency? Let that be your thing. Instead of gambling on sports, instead of sitting on your couch for 3 hours at a time, guzzling beer, gambling on sports, going to Vegas, smoking cigarettes, gambling on sports, if you're going to be gambling and you're going to be wasting your time, would it be better to get yourself into something that's not going to get into social justice, that's just pure? And if you're, to have a fandom, to be a fan of a team that's also going to get political, wouldn't it be? I think maybe we're entering what a pastime. We're going to redefine what a pastime is. Is maybe you're a fan of this altcoin and you like to buy it and trade it and flip it, and you it's a 24-hour pastime, cryptocurrency stuff. It's not like the game is over. When the game is over, I guess you can be like, the game is constant with this trading and flipping and all this nonsense out there. It is gambling. But of course, betting on the Chargers, betting on the Packers is gambling also. Being obsessed with them is gambling and a waste of your time, and you're not really using your head. With the cryptocurrency stuff, you are learning. You're getting into a new realm, a golden age type of activity. So the question does come. I know people are going to trade Bitcoin and God forbid trade it for crypto altcoins. And I know people are going to get into altcoins and hype them up. And for me, on a certain level, yeah, that's better than watching the NBA and betting on the NBA and being a fan of the NBA, because you could be led to a successful place by going through the altcoin door. I don't think the NBA at this time and just being a mindless zombie sitting on your couch, taking in this stuff, you're going to end up in a good place. I think, I'm not encouraging people to trade, but I'm saying maybe we're entering a new realm of pastimes here. I do hope people get fed up with the current pastimes and expand upon what a pastime is. Will I ever say something positive about Decred again? No, probably not. I mean, they have I like how that looks on that shirt of mine. Certain. I mean, why say anything positive? I said it looks good on that shirt of mine. I like the shirt that has Decred on it that I was given. All my shirts I'm given, by the way. Thank you very much. You can buy them all. They're all linked to below. And so that's positive. I know when I say something positive about Decred, there's a clique out there that really love it. But hey, here I'll say something. It's better to be a fan of Decred than it is to be a fan of like the Denver Nuggets, to be obsessed with the Denver Nuggets. Okay, I think we're heading in that direction right now. Because if you're a fan of Decred, it's likely that you're going to end up being getting some Bitcoin and actually improving your life, as opposed to being a fan of the New Orleans Pelicans. There's something so ridiculous now. It's becoming more and more obvious how ridiculous spending all this time watching the TV. And no, I'm not giving a penny to Major League Baseball this year. No, of course not. And to any of them, I'm not giving a penny. And that's the cool thing. You can totally follow them for free if you want to, just on the internet, and just check out the scores like I do with the Orioles. Now, yeah, and I just want to make sure I read everything out. It is a 24-hour sport, and yes, maybe this is where the big boys play in cryptocurrency. It's not the stuff that's going on in the NBA. That's not big boy stuff. That is, it's crying instead of buying. So yeah, the old pastimes, it's crying. The new pastimes, it's buying. Now it's gambling on the altcoins, but it still is buying. So unit bias, it's not going. Speaking of altcoins are going to, if altcoins gambling, altcoin trading becomes a pastime in the United States, even if it doesn't, we're still going to have people buying it because of unit bias. Unit bias. People are rushing to invest in Apple and Tesla after a stock split. The price of shares for Apple and Tesla has decreased after the company's stock split, prompting many to take the opportunity to invest. So, okay, let's say this. Apple was $500 a share, and you didn't feel it was necessary to buy until they split, and it was $250 a share. I mean, it's total unit bias there, dude. Well, now I'm getting 2 shares for that $500. I'm getting 2. So, come on, man. You could have gotten, really, you could have gotten $500 worth beforehand. It's the same. So with the altcoins, like, oh, I can get it's so much cheaper. These altcoins are so much cheaper than Bitcoin. And it's the same mentality. Oh, Apple is so much cheaper than it was before. I bet I better get it. It's mind games, dude. Okay, you can get you can get a fraction of stocks if you wanted to. I mean, you can get a fraction of Bitcoin easily. Value your wealth in satoshis, whatever you need to do. But most people don't get that at all. Okay, they want to think they're getting a deal, and there's a lot of ways to make it appear that people are getting a deal when they're not getting a deal at all. All right. So traditional finance people are so used to those stock splits, and they're so used to feeling warm and fuzzy. Now that it's cheaper, I'm going to get in now that it's cheaper. It's pretty ridiculous. But and so yeah, altcoins will thrive because that mentality isn't going anywhere. Not thrive, but altcoins will always have that leg to stand on. Of the people who get confused because of the unit bias, the people that want 100 Litecoin instead of 1 Bitcoin. All right. CipherTrace claims to have built a Monero tracking toolset. This is from decrypt.co. CipherTrace claim, okay, the tools were created for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. CipherTrace paints it as a positive for Monero by adding legitimacy to the privacy coin. All right, dudes. I don't know if this is true at all. It sounds like I'm going to need more proof, but I wanted to share that out there. CipherTrace, and they created it for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. I mean, I understand you got to make money, dudes, but you're working for the government. Government contractors. So who knows if it is true, though? Who knows if it's true? That wouldn't be too good for Monero if it's become trackable by the Department of Homeland Security. I think there are a lot of people that, a sliver of people out there that like Monero because it can't be the trace. CipherTrace, quite a company you got there. But hey, this is where the big boys play. If you want to track people. That's the way you make money. We don't have to do business with you. Now, speaking about business, a few weeks ago now, I said for the people in motion that I knew an entity that needed a writer, okay, a crypto writer, and one person contacted me, and I put him in contact with those dudes, and it worked out. That's in motion, and that just shows you how there's so few people out there who are willing. There's so many opportunities out there. People are giving away opportunities all the time. How many people actually jump on those opportunities? And you see, I see it all the time. There's so much. People are willing to help in so many ways. People are willing to network people in so many ways, and people don't jump at the opportunity. They stick with what they're doing. They don't want to take a chance. It's ridiculous. This wasn't a chance that the guy took. He sent me an email. He said, put me in touch with the guys. I put him in touch with the guys. And the only reason I know these guys they heard about me a long time ago. I actually met these guys in person at an event once. So This is what it being in motion is all about. This is a real life example of it. You cannot just be a tree sitting there silent on your couch complaining, or maybe just being a troll or something like that. You're going to get nowhere. You are definitely going to get nowhere. Get out there, network. Don't be afraid to engage with people that have lots of followers. But if an opportunity is out there, don't think it's above you. I think a lot of people have low self-esteem and just think, oh, it's not for me. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose being in motion. Seriously. So that's a real life example right there. Oh yeah, this week at Bitcoin we had Ed on, and not Ed, excuse me, Andy Edstrom. I call him Ed. Bitcoin Benny, BTC Centrist, and Juan Galt. And yeah, someone recently I encountered a guy who's got a few Bitcoin too. We were speaking. I'm going to kind of change the story around, to protect the guy's identity. But he had dealt with someone. He had sent someone Bitcoin in the past, like 2 years ago, and he needed to send that person Bitcoin again. And he used the same address from 2 years ago. Never do that. Never do that. Just because you have someone's old Bitcoin address doesn't mean they still have access to it. When you're about to send someone Bitcoin, when you're about to send anybody any cryptocurrency, okay, ask them for their address. Don't never save someone's address, okay? Never save someone's address. Ask for now if they're a guy like me with a channel or with a website and they list their address, okay, that's you've got to assume at that point that they're being honest, that is the address they want you to send. It makes sense, okay? It makes sense. You can change your address on social media whenever you want to, okay? But let's say you sent me a Bitcoin. You sent me Bitcoin a year ago and I had the address listed under my video, and you saved it. You're like, oh, this is Adam's address. I want to give him a tip again. Make sure you check the latest video, because I do change the address under my videos sometimes, okay? So don't go back 5 years and see like, oh, I don't have an address there. It's clearly this video is 5 years old. It must be true. Or you saved it 5 years ago. Now you're deciding you're going to always look at the most recent thing. Always ask a person if you haven't dealt with them for a long time, okay? And sometimes if you make the mistake and send it to an old address, it'll be fine. The person will still have access to it, but the person could have easily rearranged their entire way of storing their Bitcoin, their cryptocurrency. So yes, always do not assume it is the same. Even if someone said, hey, send me a Bitcoin today or a week ago, you send them a Bitcoin, ask them again a week later if you need to send them it again. All right. It's all clarification does not hurt at all. All right. It's no problem. When you only run into a problem when you don't, when you assume. Do not assume. Do not assume that things are the same. They do change. And I want to clarify something from yesterday real quick. I was talking about that once a Bitcoin hits a cycle low, there had never been a time when it retreated 50% in price again, okay? But we clearly hit the low for the cycle. It was like $3,100 on, where was it? It was December of 2018. And from that point, everyone thought, well, if it goes, to 10,000, it won't go back to 5,000. Now, it never went back to the low of the cycle. That is true. But it did, because of that day, March the 12th, Bitcoin did something it had not done before. It had retreated, got cut in half, all right? Got cut in more than half the fiat price. And that just shows you how big 12th day was financially on this planet. But it was just a blip in the radar. It quickly recovered to a point where it was not 50% down from its high after the low. All right, so I wanted to put that in there, but no, Bitcoin did not return to its low for the cycle. But previously, In other cycles, it had not even got cut in half again after it had returned to its lows. So there you go. Things changed. Things can change. So we'll see if other rules stick around. All right. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the DisruptMeister. I'm just looking to see if we've got. Have you met Caitlin Long in person? Says Taval Dakris. I've not met her in person, but I've obviously spoken to her on the internet face to face when she's on my show. She seems like a great lady. What I do wonder about her in person, in all seriousness, that's an interesting question. She appears to be very tall. Is she tall? I don't know. She appears to be a tall lady, and I would be curious to know if she is tall. Just something I was interested in. She appears to be tall and athletic. So I'm curious about that. So maybe I will meet her in person. But maybe some of you have seen her in person. Is she over 5'10"? That's quite tall for a woman right there. All right, that's model-esque type of tall there. I'm Adam Meister, BitcoinMeister, DisruptMeister. Pound that like button, bang the bell button. Thanks a lot, dudes. Retweet it. Appreciate the support. New show every day. And please check out the show from earlier today, Beyond Bitcoin. See you on the backup channel. Subscribe to that. Bye.